Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear Rotarian friends, welcome to this breakout session on ICCs and the impact on Rotary's areas of focus. It's my pleasure to welcome you here and to guide you through this next hour. I am Paul Jankovic. I am Austrian. I was district governor and had many other functions, but today I'm speaking to you as national coordinator for the ICCs of my country. We are luckily approaching 20 ICCs now. We have 18 up and running and 2 in the wings and the pipeline. Well, in the next hour, as I said, our team here, the panelists and myself, we will give an overview what ICCs can do in this context. So if you follow me, just to refresh our memory, what is an ICC? What is it about? You all know it, and I'm sure you have seen this slide before. Yeah, there are many ways what you can do in an ICC, but I think the best thing is really to go for projects, to go for global grants, and do activities in one of the areas of focus. Now, this is the next refresher. Which are these areas of focus? As you see here, these are the well-known features like promoting peace and disease and water and sanitation and hygiene, etc. What is new is environmentalism as a protection of the environment. And there you will hear a lot in this session. Now, who is going to present that to you? Who is discussing this with you? Who is giving insights and experience and personal ideas? This is the panel, and this is in the sequence of also speaking. We have one friend from Argentina, Carlos Angel Prestipino. We have somebody from Italy, Professor Pierangelo Metrangolo. And we have Samuel Lee Hancock from the United States. And each of these panelists will give a very interesting aspect of ICCs in this context. Now, just to cover that, I'm sure in the audience are many people who have a lot of experience, who have a lot of ideas and can comment and maybe give us some hints and new ideas. Please do not hesitate, use the chat function and we will answer that or we'll comment on it if time permits at the end of this session. We will run through this session now in one sequence and have the discussion and the talks later at the end of it. Now, let me introduce the second speaker. He's coming from Italy, Pierangelo Metrangolo. He's professor of chemistry at the Politecnico Milano, and he is a member of the Rotary Club Morimondo Abbazia. And he is also chapter chair of the ICC Italy and Finland. And he has prepared a wonderful example of very, very important aspects in environmental protection. Pierangelo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Paul. So, dear fellow Rotarians, Rotaractors, members of the family of Rotary and friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pierangelo Metrangolo. I'm chairman of the national section of the Italy-Finland Intercountry Committee and proud member of the Rotary Club Morimondo Abbazia, nearby Milan, Italy. I'm delighted to be here and speaking to this important audience. And basically what I'm going to present is our activity in the Intercountry Committee Italy-Finland and our projects which are mostly related to protecting the environment. So our environmental project is called U-Green because, as you will see, it's time for us to get to action. And before starting this, I wanted first to present where my club is. And actually, my club is in Morimondo, which is a small town around 40 kilometers away from the Milan metropolitan area, as you can see in the map. And it's a beautiful town, especially because we are really facing this beautiful abbey of Morimond, which was built in 1134. And actually, this was built from the Cistercian monks and had a very important role in transforming this land from a series of marshes into a very, very fertile farmland. You are most welcome to visit us whenever possible. And the reason why this land is so fertile is because there are so many channels. So there is a lot of water, fresh water coming from these water resurgences. And this water is coming from the faraway alpine glaciers. This was channeled in 1438 by the Lord of Milan, Filippo Maria Visconti, for irrigation purposes, and moreover, this made these canals navigable in order to transport goods in Milan. And actually, this was the reason why this land is so fertile and this water coming from the glaciers can be used for irrigation purposes. And this is a very nice story to learn from nowadays. So I would like to speak about our Intercountry Committee, which we created in 2017 with our twin club in Helsinki, Rotary Club Finlandia Hall. We created this Intercountry Committee, and I'm the national coordinator in Italy, and Taru Karikoski is the national coordinator in Finland. So one of the role of Intercountry Committees is creating new twinnings between clubs, and two other twinnings came up soon after. For example, in the center of Italy, Rotary Club Porto San Giorgio, with the Porvo town in Finland, and one more in Keuru, Finland, with Castellammare di Stabia in Naples in the south. Moreover, being in the Intercountry Committee means sharing services together. And at the beginning of October, since many years now already, from many people from our club and Italy, they reach Helsinki in order to row for saving the herring, the Baltic herring, in a service called Silakka Soutu, which means basically save the Baltic Sea. And this is the Italian team which is ready to row for the Baltic herring, but also to exchange traditions and culinary delicious with, for example, cooking together, and even doing very important things like, for example, sharing banners with the Environmental Ministry of Finland. And we were quite much inspired by this Silakka Soutu service, which, starting from a small service, became a very important Rotary Action Network by involving this year all the Baltic Sea countries. And there was an important event in February, which was opened also by the president of the Rotary International. So this is a clear demonstration where small services can grow bigger and bigger, involving many other countries. So we were quite much inspired by this, and we wanted to do something similar by focusing on something closer to us. And actually, Italy, as you may know, is surrounded by beautiful Alps and many, many alpine glaciers. So we made a very nice partnership with the Glaciological Service in Lombardy, and actually we were able to support them also to make an expedition into Bolivia in order to check the status of the Chachacomani glacier, which you see, which is really disappearing with a lot of consequences for the economy of the nearby plains. And this is another important message. If the glacier disappear, obviously troubles will be even very far away, impacting everyday's life, for example, in the plains where this water will not arrive anymore. So, but it's important to train also young generation and invest in research, which is what we did by supporting two students, the research of two students in sustainability research. And these two grants were given by the 2016 Nobel Prize awardee, Sir Fraser Stoddart, which gave these two prizes along with us at this important conference. Also, we took inspiration from our Finnish partner, which started a climate pledge long ago. This climate pledge started in Finnish, was translated into English and many other different languages. And we decided to undertake also this climate pledge on a more sustainable lifestyle of every citizen. And we translated this into Italian, and we are spreading this into Italy. And it would be very good if every country would do the same, spreading the voice that it's important also for us as citizens to behave in a more sustainable manner. And also, we recorded with my friend Giuseppe Resnati of my same club, we also recorded an educational course open to citizens for higher education for meeting the Sustainable Development Goals of the UNESCO. You can download the course and attend it. Also in the course, there is the climate pledge that you can sign. And it was very nice to see that the first signature was the one from Sir James Fraser Stoddart, Nobel Prize for Chemistry 2016. So the focus now is on glaciers. Alpine glaciers, unfortunately, are shrinking. If you compare the solid blue spots here surrounding the north of Italy, as you can see, compared to the blue lines, they are really become smaller and smaller. And this will impact a lot the water resurgences, which make the Po Plain, the Padana Plain, so fertile. And obviously the consequences will be a lot on agriculture, tourism, and security management of water flows. We have to act now. We can still do something. And otherwise, glaciers will disappear in 50 years. Here I'm presenting two examples. On top left, we have the Forni glaciers in Lombardy, which we are seeing a projection will disappear. It was the biggest one. It will disappear by 2050. And also the Marmolada glacier is really shrinking in the Dolomites. It's time now to act and be more sustainable. And we are going to support through the Glaciological Service of Lombardy all possible to be done to preserve our glaciers. We recorded a video for you, which you are seeing now.
So the Morimondo Abbey was founded in 1134 by the Cistercian monks coming from the Morimond monastery in France, nearby Dijon. And it had a very important role transforming this land from a series of marshes into a very fertile farmland. At the end of the 14th century, for external reasons, the Morimondo Abbey experienced a decline. But meanwhile, Filippo Maria Visconti in the same period wanted to have these canals called navigli to be built in order to connect Milano to 6 castles in the surroundings. This involved a tremendous series of hydraulic engineering work which made these canals navigable and also created a very efficient irrigation system which allowed to introduce the corn crops and rice pads. This demonstrates how investing in infrastructure could develop a land from a series of marshes into a very, very wealthy farmland. This is a beautiful example of water resurgences, where the water comes off the ground with a reasonable pressure, and this comes from the glacier melting in the past. And the water is conveyed into channels in order to irrigate the field. Obviously, if the alpine glacier will disappear, this source of water will not be available anymore for food production.
What we consider like a global phenomenon has actually an effect, a very bad effect on local communities as well, and affects local communities pretty bad. In my experience, I have seen that everything is connected, all the elements are very connected with each other. So big glaciers and the mountains are connected to the rivers, and the rivers are connected to the sea and the oceans. Everything is in a very fragile balance.
The glaciers that we see, it's a giant and very efficient water stock, water storage, and if we lose it, we will not have another stock of water during the summer. The fact that we are losing it will be a problem for not only for the alpine valleys and the rivers that goes across them, but also for all the Padana Valley and the plains where we have agriculture and farming activities, because in the summer period there will be a very higher scarcity of water.
If the glaciers disappear, there will be not any more water available for irrigation purposes. But we can still try to invert this trend. It's not too late yet. And everybody could do something, even the simple citizen, starting by signing the pledge.
We have to take action right now to study better and to do what we can to avoid disasters, because even a very slight change can make an avalanche effect and can destroy ecosystems which are maybe far away from each other in terms of distance, but very, very close. In creating a community could be the first step. And how you make a community: first of all, you ask signatures. First of all, you make people understand the problem. And when you are all together, the impact on politicians and on this phenomenon can be much stronger.
Fighting the climate change, it will be the challenge of the next decade. It will be our challenge, try to stop the retreat of the glaciers like this one, because we know from the IPCC's climate evolution scenarios that if we don't do anything, we will lose all the glaciers around the Italian and all the Alps.
Join this online petition and start the change now.
If you want to invert this trend, it's not too late. You can contribute joining the EU Green project and signing the pledge.
So, thank you for listening. I hope that we convinced you that it's important to act now. There's not much time left. And we, as Rotarian, also in our Rotarian lifestyle, should always protect the environment. Please join the EU Green project, visit the website, and sign the pledge. Thank you for listening. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Pierangelo. I think we all agree that this presentation makes us really think, and I hope we will make use of this invitation for this pledge. Couldn't agree more.
Right. I just wanted to comment, if possible, Paul, is that Andreas in the chat says that obviously the glacier issue is touching many other countries, and this is extremely important. It's true. Every country should pay attention to this because our reserves of fresh waters are really limited. And why not, for example, inter-country committees are exactly the good tool for involving many countries around, for example, the Alpine Arc, which would be extremely beautiful. And moreover, there is another point I wanted to make. It's our lifestyle that needs to be changed, and our Rotarian lifestyle also has to change in order to be more compliant with the protecting the environment. It's a kind of new age for impact zero Rotary, which is the big issue that we have ahead.